Hey y'all, it's Dr. Know-It-All. So I'm going to do a little tutorial today on the Tesla Light Show thing, which is new with the, whether it's version 10.8 beta or whatever I think it's version 11, actually, the regular version that's now out. But anyway, people are super excited about it. And so I thought like, hey, I'll do a tutorial because it's not the most obvious thing in the world how to make this all work. So anyway, I'm going to bring this up, make this a little obvious. So unfortunately, I'm kind of just cheating this a little bit I'm using Photo Booth to capture my face. So hey. So anyway, here, let's see if maybe I can just do that. There we go. So I can kind of move this out of the way. But anyway, I kind of want to go through the process, and I want to talk first a little bit about the concept of this. So this is a kind of a kludge on a kludge, or a kludge on a kludge, depending on how you pronounce that word. But anyway, so what this is using is a program called xLights. Or xLight? Wait, is it xLight or xLights? xLights, yes. So anyway, that's like a Christmas holiday thing, right? When you drive by and people have the music playing and all the crazy stuff going on at their house, they're probably using a program like this or this exact program to do this. So anyway, that's what they're actually using to make this work. And so you can see here, I've gone to the GitHub thing, and it uses, I don't particularly like xLights. It's a pretty, oof, man, it's a rough interface. But anyway, so that's a little bit of a kludge. And then on top of that is the fact that what Tesla is doing with it is not using it specifically for lights. They're using it for a bunch of other things, like opening the mirrors and making the back trunk go up and doing other things like that. So it's a little funky. So anyway, I'm going to go through the process. All you need is one of these. I just dug through, my drawers and found an old USB drive. The smallest drive that you have will work. I mean, 32 megabytes, not even 30, no gigabytes are necessary, because you can only do one light show at a time. You can, and the only thing that takes up any real room is the WAV file. So you have to have either an MP3 or a WAV file, and then they have the thing called an FSEQ, which is a F sequence. I don't know what the F stands for. But anyway, so that's all you need. So in order to get here, the easiest thing to do is just type, I'll put this in a link in the description, of course, but type GitHub Tesla Light Show and hit enter, and you can see that github.com Tesla Motors Light Show. So that's where it is. If you don't have a GitHub membership, actually, I don't know why I'm not signed in. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I have a GitHub account. I have no idea why I'm not signed into it right now. Just got back from vacation, so I guess it's decided to take a break too. But anyway, it goes through all of this information, and then what you're going to want to do is just say, download the zip file with all of the information. Do you want to allow? Yes. Okay. So I'm on a Mac. This will be slightly different on Windows, but it's not terribly different. So anyway. All right, so this will be the interface. It goes through a whole bunch of things. These are the models it supports. So basically Model 3, Model Y, it supports whatever. Whenever you bought those, it'll work with that. There are some restrictions in terms of where the lights work and all that stuff, but that's down below. The Model S has to be 2021 and the Model X has to be 21 plus. So, or it has to be running software version 11 or newer, or alternatively the 10.8 beta that's out. USB flash drive requirements, this guy. So I'll bring this up just to show. Actually, I don't have it plugged in. Let me plug it in. Anyway, it's got to be an MS-DOS format for the thing. Hopefully it'll see that. I never know. I'm using this little external USB thing on my keyboard. It will actually... Nope, of course it's not showing it. Yeah, I've got it plugged in. Anyway, when you plug it in, you just choose erase and make sure that you choose the MS-DOS FAT or exFAT. There's several options to it. I don't know why it's not showing up on here. I need to plug it in over on the side over there. It's being annoying like that. So anyway, so yeah, the requirements are it needs to be exFAT, FAT32, MS-DOS FAT. I just have it set to MS-DOS FAT because I formatted it on my Mac. But anyway, you use disk utility, you press erase, and you tell it what you want to do. And then you just need to have it be essentially blank. And I'm just going to see if I can find... Actually, while I was down there digging around, let me show you this. I'm super excited. Christmas present from Misinformation, Tesla. And I'm sure you all know what this is. I posted this on Twitter yesterday and on my Discord channel. So if you don't know, Tesla tequila, pretty cool. Anyway, so that's going to go back there. It'll be in my set for for the future. Anyway, so I'm really excited about that. I'm not sure what to do with the cardboard box. It's actually a very nice cardboard box, but anyway. All right, so let's see if I have managed to make this show up by plugging it into a better drive. There it is. Okay, so yeah, so let's go back and open up disk utility. All right. Of course, there we go. I don't know why it's just decided it's not going to work right now. Okay, so you go into here, you say erase, you say you want it to be ms.fat16, whatever. I'd named it Tesla just so I would know. I'm not going to go through the eraser process, but anyway, what you'll get on there is you need to create a folder. So, right, so just create a new folder. It won't let me do that because, of course, I'll be repeating the name. Yeah, it's going to get mad about that. But anyway, so you create that folder, and then inside that folder, you just have two things. So you have one of them called Lightshow MP3 or Lightshow Wave, and the other one is Lightshow.f sequence. So it's a something sequence. So I believe if you open this up with text edit, it will actually, I think it's a text file. Nope, it's not a text file. It's that. So you can't really see what it is. But anyway, so those are the two things that you need. That's all you basically can have on this USB drive. So that will allow you to create the custom thing. So, all right. So anyway, it runs on these things. That's the flash drive requirements. And obviously just format it and find an old crappy USB drive. You don't need anything special for that. All right. And then what you have to do is go to Toy Box. I'll actually show a picture of this or a video of this later. But you select the Toy Box, which is the new little symbol of Toy Box. It's very colorful. Go to Lightshow, the Lightshow tab at the bottom. It's like a disco ball. And when you click on that, click Start the Show. And then what it'll bring up is, if it's working properly, you'll see Custom Lightshow. It won't say Lightshow, it'll say Custom Lightshow. So you're going to look for the word custom on your Lightshow, and that will tell you that it's actually yours. Again, you can only have one of these running at any time. You can't have more than one of these on your drive. I guess you can as long as you put them someplace. But inside that Lightshow folder, you can only have one of these things showing. So, right, so that's it. So inside here, only one at a time. And I guess, again, you could swap them around if you want to, but you can't do that on the Tesla itself. All right, so there you go. So if it says Lightshow, you've got a problem. There is a validation sequence. I'll show that later. The maximum duration for the Lightshow is 5 minutes. The number of commands is 681, yada, yada, yada. And turning something on and off, it counts as 2 transitions. So I don't know. This is all pretty standard stuff since I've used show control things. All right, so the first thing you want to do is visit xLights downloads. So here, we'll go over here. If you're on Windows, do Windows. If you're on Mac OS X, do OS X. If you're on Linux, do Linux. Click here, and it should open up on the Mac version. It should open up the, yep, there we go. So you can see I've already downloaded it, but it'll let you download. And then you click open, and it will open it up. And the first thing you're going to see is that you have to select a show directory. So I've just created a, inside here, I've created a subdirectory, and now it has a directory. So this is the, from time to time, sure, whatever. I did this already on my other computer. One thing I will definitely tell you is that I'm doing this on just a 1080, HD resolution thing for you guys, but that's just a little piece of the screen on this computer. I was doing it on my laptop with a very small screen. It's really a pain to do on a small screen. So I highly recommend the largest screen that you have while you're working on this, and you will find out once we get going. All right, so anyway, once you've got that downloaded, Windows or Mac version, and again, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it works. Oh gosh, I'm gonna go back to GitHub here. Okay. All right, now we're back to GitHub. Okay. So we also then need to download this Tesla xLights show.zip folder. So we will do that. We will open that up. Here we go. Okay. And then we've got a whole bunch of stuff inside here. So actually, I think I've got the whole thing here. Yeah, I downloaded the master file, right? So I got everything from GitHub. So I'm going to copy this Lightshow master over to the folder where I told it to put everything. All right, there we go. Sorry. doing these tutorials is always fun. So anyway, Tesla Lightshow. Interesting. All right, so anyway, I'm going to put that. Just let me make sure that's where I thought it was. Yep, okay. Oh, that's because I had it from yesterday on my other computer. That's why. All right. So anyway, you'll see this light show master thing. What I did was I just told it to download the whole code, right? So you say here, say download zip. That's the easiest way to get everything. Anyway, inside of here is an examples thing. That's a zip file. You'll have to double click that to open it up. And then you'll see that there is an actual example here. So there's a lightshow.xsq, which is the actual xLight program. And then there is the lightshow.wave file, which we can, I don't know if it'll play right now. Yeah, there you go. All right, I don't want to get a copyright strike. It's kind of Girl from Ipanema-esque, but anyway. So there you go. And then you have this F sequence thing. So that's the example that they show you. Then there is also, under here, images, no, not that, xLights, yeah. And then you need to double click this and open that up. And so here you've got xLights and Model S, and this is the thing that you're going to actually do. So you're going to follow the instructions here. This is, again, only the second time I've done this, so please forgive me if it's not completely smooth at this point. All right, so you're going to download all of this stuff. So you go to the xLights download and install the xLights application, download all this crap, open the xLights application. Okay, so now we're going to go to File Preferences in our xLight thing. And I'm going to try to put this all in. I'm going to kind of cover myself up here a little bit. Bye-bye to me. Just so I can get more room for over here. Okay, so Preferences, Sequences. So I'm going to go to xLights, Preferences. And so that's just xLight Sequences. And I'm going to say F sequence version. So that is, oh, here it is. So you need to change this to uncompressed and then just close that. And then in File, select Show Folder. Unfortunately, sorry, I know it's kind of cut off. Sorry, I should have put this thing over closer to the edge. But anyway, it's just under the File menu. You want to select your Show Folder. So, yeah. Put it there. Okay. And, oh, and select the unzipped project directory. Whoops. All right, let's try that again. Select show folder. Okay. I think I actually need to do the one that has yeah. Okay. Oops. All right. Open. There we go. Okay. RGB effects, save models, view, sure, whatever. Okay. So let's let that thing do its thing. In the meantime, okay, so you want to select the one that has Model S inside of it. And then once this thing finally finishes doing its thing, okay, then we should see a layout and a sequencer, right? So there's my Model S, and we need to go over here. This is a little bit annoying with the Mac, yeah. So you have to kind of move this really, really wide, and then you can see preview. You want to do, I think it says 3D. Where is that? There it is. Okay, so you gotta make it really, really wide and say 3D preview. There we go. And then if you hold the Option key down, you can spin around and you can use your mouse wheel or your trackpad or whatever to zoom in. So these are all the controls that we have. And this is where it gets nice and fun. Let me close this back up again so you can see the whole window. Like I said, it's a little bit of a kludgy interface. It's not the greatest thing in the world. But anyway, the Tesla Model S, don't worry whether you have a Model S or a Model Y or X or whatever. It doesn't make any difference because all of the controls basically work for all of them. And the ones that don't are clearly specified. So anyway, so you can see and you can kind of zoom in and out. And that's what you got. So that's pretty cool, right? All right, so anyway, so layout, select the Model S. Yep, we got that. And then we're going to go to adjust the size of the lights. You can do that if you're interested. Okay, and then we're going to select the sequencer tab. And this is important. We only need these 3 windows open to make this all work. So when we go to the sequencer tab, it's got more windows than what we actually need. So we can get rid of the effects settings. We can get rid of the layer blending, we can get rid of the layer settings, and then I'm going to move this around because I found that actually having this guy over here, let's see if I can make this work. There we go. Having the sequence up at the top was the best choice that I found. Let's see if I can make this work. Great. There we go. It's like, oh gosh, it's just a little bit like not the easiest thing in the world. So like, I don't know why it's not, that's annoying. It's all putting it sideways. I swear it worked last time I did this. The problem is that you can't move the viewer. It's the other ones that you can move. And so it makes it like really confusing as to how to like, because what I want to do is put it down here in the corner and make it, oh, maybe there we go. All right, there we go. So yeah, you just have to kind of drag it around until you see the thing turn purple. And then let me drag this again so it takes up the window. Again, the bigger the screen you have, the happier you're going to be with all this. And then let me move this kind of up here. So this is the sequencer. This is what actually has all the stuff. I don't know why I'm not seeing it right now, actually, because I should be seeing all of these things here. And then this is all the different effects that you can see, which allows you control. And then you've got your 3D view of your car. So let me go back to layout and 3D objects. Yeah, again, I'm not sure why I'm not seeing this in the sequencer. It should be there. Let me go back to here. All right. Oh, opening the sequence. Okay. Follow the getting started. No. Open sequence. Navigate to the unzipped file. Okay. So I need to go sequence, open sequence. So again, go to file, open sequence. Sorry, you can't see that. And then go to here. Someplace there's an example. There it is, under examples. I thought that was, well, maybe, hold on a sec. All right, so open sequence, navigate to the zipped folder and select light show. All right. Yep, there we go. Okay, so light show SXQ or, again, sorry, it's only the second time I've done this. Yeah, so it's the XSQ version. So XSQ, open, and then there we go. Okay. And now if we open this up and double click the open all things, and now you can see why I said the bigger the screen you have, the better, because there are a lot of controls. So if we go here, you can see there's a play button, you know, basic rewind stuff, right? And you can see how this thing flips on and off. And if you drag through, you can select like a section to play. You can also click anywhere down here in the timeline. And of course, if you, I've been using the trackpad. I'm not exactly sure how to zoom in. Well, I'll use my trackpad. So if you go up here, you can zoom in with your trackpad. At least I could. There we go. Yeah, so you can zoom in and out. So this is where all the controls are. This is where the magic happens. So you can see that we've got over here, let me drag this out a little bit so we can see it better. So starting right at the door handle. Okay, so these guys, the left front window, right rear front window, right window, etc., etc. If we go to the left front window all the way to the end, oh, I guess yeah, there it goes. So you can have these things do all sorts of different things. So automatically, when you start the light show, the windows will go down. You don't have to put that in. I didn't realize that until recently. But when it starts, the windows go down so that you can actually hear what's going on because it's actually playing out of the internal speakers. And then when it stops, the windows will go back up again. You can control the rear hatch. You can control the license plate lights. You can control all of these lights that are the turn signal lights, the back lights. If you have a Model X or a Model S, you can control the handles. You can control the way that the rear view mirrors flap in and out so they can flap. You can actually control the charge port. It can open and close and apparently can do rainbows. And then you can control all of these lights individually. So by default, the lights kind of turn on and off. They're what's called Boolean. They go on and off instantly, but you can actually control that by setting some settings to make them fade in and out over certain amounts of time. So let me show in this interface what looks a little bit confusing. And again, the reason why I don't like this interface particularly, especially for what we're doing here, is because it's not really terribly revealing. But basically, if you want to select something, so here's left channel 4. If we select that, you can see down here that we have a brightness of 100. And that is really the only thing that you can change. So again, you can like select this, and you can see right here at that particular time that these particular ones are on. Now, as it turns out, and I'll show you this from the website because you need to read the website to understand it. By the way, this is rather tedious. There's a lot of stuff that you have to understand how to make work. But you can also see that the big difference here, like the left falcon door, etc. If you look at this, that shouldn't actually be set to 100. I don't know why it says it's set to 100. That's very weird. The brightness should be, because it looks like, usually the brightness is adjusted by the colors. So I'm confused as to why this is showing 100 here. Because generally speaking, it has shown, that's so weird. Yeah. So generally speaking, this brightness reflects the different colors. So if it's like white, it's actually 100%, but then the other ones aren't. And notice that what turns purple up here, it's very subtle, but this little purple bar across here is what indicates that you've got something selected. And again, you can go to this particular spot, you can select that, you can see what's going on at that particular moment, and you can see how it lines up with all the beats and everything. And of course you can scroll up and down and you can see, and you can zoom in and out a bit so you can see things more clearly, and you can do things in larger bulk. So you can see that there's quite a bit of stuff to do here. Let me go back to the website for just a second. All right, so there we've got our example sequence. So now if we want to make a new sequence, now that we've seen how this works, we go File, New Sequence, and say discard changes. I don't care about that. We're going to do a musical sequence, and we're going to give it a name. Well, actually, we're going to tell it to put it in the Tesla Light Show. So that should work. My Pi network has crashed. All right, let's just say there. Choose audio file. Oh, that's what it's looking for. Sorry. I knew it was looking for something. So let me find, actually, I've got in my light show, I've got a piece of music. Okay, there we go. And now we're going to just do custom. Actually, yeah, we want to do 20 milliseconds is the best setting, which is 50 FPS. So frame interval is 20 milliseconds. And then we want to do quick start, and it does its stuff. And then this is my son Zenly Music's music, right? So it's not copyrighted, so cool. So. All right, so you can see this is a little less than 3 minutes of music, and I'm obviously not going to do all 3 minutes. That would be insanity to try to show you all of that. But if we go back to the beginning and we sort of zoom in a little bit, it's really tweaky about that. All right, so let's now go back to the beginning so you can see this. All right, so now let's take a look at the website again and see what we can do. So again, set it to frame interval of 20 milliseconds or 50 frames per second, do the wizard, and you can see how all of these controls are there. The only real controls that we're going to use are the on and off. So up here is off and up here is on. And so let's start with, but first, before I get to there, and then there's a validator script, and I'll show you about that in just a second. But basically, we're going to create these Booleans. So you can see left front fog, on and off. So basically, where it's white, it's on, where it's black, it's off. And you can see that the inner beams have ramping capability or Boolean capability. And the ramping function has to do with this percentage. And that's why it's a little bit confusing. That's why it's a kludge on a kludge. So anyway, so just to show you down here real quick, if you have a Model 3 or Y, these are how the controls are: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you have a Model S, then it looks like this. So you can see from the pictures, Model X looks like that. And then there's also a whole bunch of things about the lift gates and all of this. So there's a whole bunch of stuff here. So again, I can't possibly go through all of this. The tutorial is already long enough at this point. How long? Oh gosh, we're at 25 minutes. So yeah, this is crazy long already. So, but the important thing to understand here is that the value of brightness doesn't change the brightness of the light. It's actually being used, it's cheated on by Tesla to create ramping effects. So essentially, let's look at, we can do with all of these things, we can do them inner main beam. We can do ramping using the inner main beam. So what we need to look at here is turn off instant is 0%, turn on instant is 100%, but then these lower ones turn it off at a slower pace and the on goes on at a slower pace. So 500 milliseconds is 90%. So we want to turn on the inner main beam. So let's go to left inner main beam. Let's set it to like right where this, actually let's set it right about, oops. Yeah, this is tweaky. All right, so let's set the thing here. Let's go to left inner main beam and let's do an on. We're gonna drag it. This is really annoying because it would be nice if it would snap to the playhead, but it doesn't. So you gotta kind of just drag it. So anyway, and then you can drag it and make it longer if you want to by doing that, and make it shorter if you want to by doing something else. So anyway, 500 milliseconds is half a second. So we're starting at less than a second. So let's just go ahead and shrink it to here. Doesn't really matter. But now we're going to click this, and what I'm going to do is say 90. And what that does, notice that it turns it down. If I turn this to like 30, it'll get really dark, right? But if we turn this to 90, what it will do is ramp this thing up again. So again, right, use this as your cheat sheet. So that means in half a second, it's going to ramp up. If we want to have it turn on in 2 seconds, 2000 milliseconds, we'd set it to 70%. So we do that. And then you can see that it gets darker, and that's your only clue. But watch when you play it, it doesn't really, right? It shows that it's on at 70%. So anyway, so that'll cause it to ramp up at a slower speed, but let's do 80%. So it ramps in a second. And then let's drag another on here. So this will count as 2 commands, but I'm gonna drag this on here and set it to here. And I'm gonna set this one to 100%. And what that means is it's just on. Okay, so now it'll ramp up over a period of time, stay on, and then turn off instantly as this happens. We can also, of course, go down here to our aux parks. So if we click down here, we could go, maybe we want to turn this one on instantly. And a lot of these things are automatically controlled. So if we look down here, we can see, yeah. So that controls these lights right here. So you can see that from how they're controlled. This will turn on instantly. So again, if I play it, right? Yeah. So you can see the aux park was that lower one. So anyway, so that's how this all works. And again, if you have a big screen, you can keep all this in view at the same time. There is also lights, 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 lights. There is left mirror and right mirror. So we could drag an on to the left and right mirror. We can have the lift gate open. So let's drag a lift gate open so we can cause the lift gate to pop open maybe here. And there are some controls for that. So let's switch back to here. So again, that will cause, you won't see it in the 3D preview, but what you'll see is the lift gate it should go on. Not sure, I'm not seeing it. Huh. That's interesting that it's not showing up there. But anyway, that's the rear liftgate should be showing right there as it plays. Very interesting that's, oh, it's because I have the left door handle. Ha 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 ha. Yes, I have it in the wrong thing. So, oh yeah, so if you want to copy and paste something, you do copy, and then you have to kind of select this other one, do paste. It's really a pain. Like, this is the kind of stuff where it's like, I don't know why it couldn't have been, why it couldn't have been made a little bit easier. There we go. So what you have to do is click in the space to turn it kind of blue like this, and then click paste, right? And then I can get rid of this one actually, so. Oop. I think, here, hold on. There we go. Yeah, and it's also, the interface is not super fast. So let's take a look and see if that actually worked. There we go, rear liftgate. Okay, so that means we've got our rear liftgate working. It's not gonna turn a light on, but what we will do, if we look over here to go down here, again, aux park, and you can see a lot of these things are ganged together. So if you do channel 4, 5, or 6, they all turn on simultaneously with the lights, etc. But then we've got things like the liftgate. So, right, so command limit per show, you can only do 6 of them, but there's some cool stuff you can do. So anyway, if we want to open it, we set the brightness to 25%. So here we've got that selected. We're going to do 25%. And then I'm going to drag another command in here. And these don't actually have to be connected to each other. I don't know why that, oh, that still says 100%. Oops. Somehow I set something the wrong way. But if we go back to here, you can look at dance as 50%. So that'll cause the lift gate to wiggle up and open and close. So now we've got that. And then we can drag one more in here like a little bit later. So it'll dance for a while. And then probably we would want to actually do that where the drop is. You know, that'd be more fun. But we're just showing how this works at this point. And then you go back here. In order to close it, you want to say 75%. And by the way, you can have it stop anywhere by putting in 100%. So now we're going to put in 75% to cause it to, oops, that's not right. I wanted it to dance. Okay. And this guy will be 75%. There we go. All right, so open, dance, close. You won't see this in the preview because the preview is not designed for Teslas. So anyway, but you will see that the light will change. Dim, so that's opening. Now it's dancing. And now it's gonna close. So there's a good chance that that wouldn't actually work because it takes a certain amount of time for it to open. And I think you have to, yeah, so you have to just read through all this because there's a certain amount of time that it has to take for it to open. And you can do the command for it to open just as a very brief command. It doesn't have to be very long. It could be like that. It will continue to open until it finishes opening. But you do need to leave room between the opening and when it actually dances. And it will not dance from the closed position, so there you go. So anyway, you know, again, you're basically, the whole process is you drag something in. So left front, let's go up here. Yeah. So you drag something in like left side repeater, and then you set the thing, if you want it to be instant on, it's 100, and then look at the settings for the other ones. And at that point, you can then, if you see where it turns purple like that, you can drag across it or just select in the middle, and then you can do copy, and then you click in the other one, and it's annoying, but you have to click in just the right spot to make sure that you get it synced up at the right spot. Click paste. Click paste, right? So you can paste it in and you can drag select a whole bunch of these and you can say copy, and then you can, I believe you have to select 3 of these guys, maybe. Again, still getting used to this. Select paste, there you go. So you just have to give yourself room to do all of that. And then of course you can obviously move them all so that they sync up. Right, so that's basically it. I will show you a real quick example of me just sort of messing around with it. I haven't gotten very far with this. All right, this is just a test at this point. Let's see how this works. I'm gonna say start the show. It says custom light show because down here, you can see I've got my USB cable, or USB is plugged in there. So it says custom light show. I don't really have much going on at this point, so, but okay, so all you have to do is just get out and let's see what happens. The doors should go down. I mean, the windows should go down, sorry. Oh, there they go. And I think we have 1 or 2 little things that are gonna happen here, but no sound. Oh, there it goes. Ooh, all right. Oh, hey. And a fade up. And that's about all there is to it. I haven't done anything else yet. But so the sound comes out of the interior of the car. Oh. I guess I did have one other thing happen. All right, cool. Oh, geez. So I did do a few things. So you can see I got the back open. Quite loud. Cool. It works. As you can tell, this is very, very tedious. It takes a long time. So I expect what's going to be more interesting to most people is to actually go onto GitHub and other resources and find where other people have done this. But if you're of the, you know, if you're the kind of person that likes to spend time working on all of this stuff, then this gives you a lot of fun to play with, and it's pretty darn cool. I mean, you know, it's obviously done by engineers. It's obviously not the most clear thing in the world. But once you get the hang of it, it's basically drag and drop the on thing, drag and drop the off thing, and you don't even really have to worry about the off thing. You just basically drag and drop the on thing to wherever you want to put it. You set the brightness, which then controls this for the lights, right? So you just have to look at all these things. And again, you can just sort of copy this stuff down. So for anything that ramps, you can control it with all of that. And then for the lift gates and all of that kind of stuff, you can have control with that. And those are controlled by that. And again, you can do things like when you say dance for the charging plug, you can actually cause it to, you can cause the charging plug to rainbow, I guess, or something like that. All right, wow, super long thing. I will close this out by showing just a quick example of how it actually works on the car. Again, it's not art at this point. It was just basically a engineering thing to make sure I understood how all of this works. But I really look forward to finding out how people do with this. Hopefully you'll understand from what I did. Basically, you're using xLights to, instead of control Christmas tree lights, you're using them to control the Tesla. It controls more than lights, and it can do things like ramping and stuff depending on the brightness that you set the lights for. So the lights will always become as bright as they become. The lift gate will always open, but essentially what you're doing is you're telling the xLights control sequence to go at a certain brightness, which will then cause the Tesla to understand what that means is over half a second or 2 seconds, turn your brightness up or down so you can make it go like that. And then of course, flashing is just setting it to 100% and turning it on and off. So anyway, I hope that helps. And you know, again, I hope you enjoy the little piece of music. This again was my son's music, and he has Zenly Music is his YouTube channel. I always have a link in the description for his thing. He would love it if you give him a subscription. He has a lot of Instagram followers, but not a ton of YouTube followers. So he would love it if you would follow him on YouTube or Instagram for that matter. So anyway, definitely check it out. Hopefully this is useful. I would love to hear in the comments if you end up doing something like post a link to it. I would love to have some sort of repository because I think it would be super cool if we could all sort of collectively do this. Again, I can't do copyright music on here for obvious reasons, but I think my son's music is fun to play with. So I'm going to eventually do one of these, and I will post a link to, I don't know, some sort of Google Drive or something like that where I'll put it, and then hopefully other people will do that as well so that we can create a big repository of this music and you can have fun with it. Again, remember, you can only do one of these per like time or something, right? So inside here, you've got your light show, and inside the light show, you have to call the thing lightshow.mp3 or lightshow.wave, and then the other one is the lightshow.f sequence, and you know, basically to save that, you go to save sequence, and then you tell it what you want. You say save it as light show, right? Usually I would probably call it something like, I'll just rename it when it goes on the USB drive, you know, something like that. So now it's saved as that, and then you can open it up and you can keep working it on it whenever. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. Let me know. I'd be really interested to find out. Sorry, you know, I know this is a rather long tutorial. Geez, we're at almost 40 minutes, but it is a little bit complicated, and I kind of wanted to step through everything so that people would really understand how this all works. Again, you could really ignore almost all of this. It's really only this little white thing, and you just drag it in to do whatever you got to do. All right. I hope that was helpful. Thank you very much, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye. Oh, hey. And a fade up. And that's about all there is to it. I haven't done anything else yet. But so the sound comes out of the interior of the car. Oh, I guess I did have one other thing happen. All right, cool. Oh, geez. So I did do a few things. So you can see I got the back open. Quite loud. Cool. It works.